You really want to go to TV Land?
I don't know where to go.
You know what Sudbury's like in the summer.
Tens everywhere.
Hockey players always find trouble in the off-season.
Tens all over the place.
They need hockey to keep them busy.
Oh, it's summer in Sudvegas.
Welcome to There's Something About Shoresy, where we are pretty obviously talking about the show Shoresy. It's on Crave in Canada, on Hulu in the United States. I am Magnum Mills. I am here with the Soupdeucer, and we are going to be discussing the first 3 episodes of Season 4 of Shoresy, which is the beginning of Part 2. So we're very excited about this, and right now it's not exactly summer in Sudvegas, given how cold it's been, especially on the East Coast recently. But we've only got the Super Bowl left, so it does feel a little bit like Shoresy here. It's not summer, but we are going into the off season. Soup, how are you doing? You excited about Shoresy? This kind of came up out of nowhere, but I give them credit. The show's been consistent. They're dropping every 6 months with 6 episodes, so we like the consistency there. How you doing? You excited to talk about season 4, Shoresy?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've been looking forward to it for a hot minute. Well, actually, since season three ended, and I knew they were signed on for a fourth, and I'm the same way right now, knowing that they're signed on for a fifth, and I'm not even done with season four yet. So we just kind of cracked the beginnings of the fourth season here. So yes, very excited about it, man. As you guys know, it's one of our, we're big on this show. It's a good one. It's got a lot of layers to it. And it's, for a lot of reasons, we really enjoy this show. So we're here to talk about that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into season four here. Definitely because of the way season three ended. I mean, you got a lot of questions if you're a fan of the show. Like, where's it going to go? What's going to happen? Well, we're starting to figure that out. So without further ado, let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, man, we're diving in like it's the diving board at the no-show celebration party there, which was a good one. Hopefully, this will be a good episode of There's Always Something About Shoresy. We are presented by Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff. Same place on the web, dudeswatchstuff.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you've hit the thumb.
Yeah. So before you go any further, if you are checking this out, this is going to be a full-on spoiler of any Shoresy that has happened in the first 3 seasons, plus these couple, 3 episodes of the fourth season. There might be some possible Letterkenny spoilers. I don't know, but anything Jared Kiso, anything related to that universe is on the table, man. So you've been warned.
Yeah, starting with the best spoiler you already dropped. They're already picked up for season 5. And again, we should probably assume it'll be 6 episodes, come out about 6 months from the end of season 4. We like the regularity. Some of these shows are taking off forever. They're not showing up for 2 years. Shout out Shoresy. They're showing up basically twice a year. Absolutely love that. Before we get into it a little more, let's just kind of give a recap of where we are as far as Shoresy, Letterkenny, that kind of thing. I got into this late. You got me into it, Soup, kind of at the beginning of season 3. That's where I got into it. I went back, and before I got into 3, I watched 1 and 2, watched 3, then I kind of rewatched it all again after that. Then I rewatched it again just right before this, really. So, seen the first couple of seasons a few times now. I've seen the first 3 episodes here of season 4 2 or 3 times each. Definitely enjoyed them. I have not seen Letterkenny, caught a couple of random ones back in the day. It's one of those things that's on my list now, but it went like 10, 11 seasons or whatever. So, it might take a minute. I'm a bit of a completionist, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to get around to it, but I'm absolutely loving Shoresy, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything because I did not watch Letterkenny. How about yourself, Soup, man? Where are you at on Shoresy, Letterkenny, the whole Jared Kiso universe here?
Yeah, well, I'll just continue that real quick by saying, you don't have to know or have seen Letterkenny to watch Shoresy. Shoresy was a character in Letterkenny, like a cameo character here and there. Sometimes he was great, and that's where the spinoff came from. Jared Kiso, the guy who plays Shores, he also plays Wayne, the main dude in Letterkenny. And Letterkenny's great. Yeah, it's a lot of seasons of it, but again, it's episodes like this that go by quick. It's an easy watch, and you can kind of plot through it, and it's awesome. It does kind of relate back and forth, just kind of like, the way people interact and some of the ways that they talk and everything. It's very familiar between the two of them, but also both shows are very, very funny and very entertaining. As far as Shoresy goes, I was randomly watching Letterkenny here and there. I wasn't, like fully into it, but people have been talking about it, and so I was kind of like checking it out, like, kind of like end of the night, like let me put it on and watch a couple episodes, fall asleep, watch a couple episodes, fall asleep. So I was randomly, like getting into that, and then I heard about Shoresy, and this is kind of right when Shoresy came out after the first, so there was already like a season. There was already a season under the belt, I think, when I first started watching it, and I watched it, and I just immediately, like, it hit something with me. Like, there was a different, like, it's one of those where, like, sometimes you watch something that kind of grabs you, like by the inner whatnots, you just feel something about it. And I think Shoresy has that energy, and I don't want to relate it to Letterkenny in that regard, because it is totally different. It's
Sounds
more.
like you're saying Shoresy just tugged on your balls a little bit the first time
Yeah,
you saw it.
gave my balls a tug a little bit, and it reached my cockles of my heart, as Dennis Leary would say. It did do that, and I immediately kind of fell in love with the show, dude. I mean, I don't know, it's good on a lot of levels. It's funny, it's heartwarming, I guess, if you want to call it that.
It has heart. It's a real sport. It has that sports thing at the heart of it, and I thought that was it sets an extra degree of difficulty. But I thought they always pulled that off, especially over the first three seasons. It was not only a comedy show, but it was also a sports show, and that's a hard thing to pull off. And I thought they just did such a great job of it. It was such a pleasant surprise, and the episodes again always so well paced. It goes by quick. You know what I mean? It never overstays its welcome.
Absolutely, and that would be, I find that to be one of the things I kind of like have a negative about. It's like, oh, it's only 6 episodes, and you always want more. But maybe there's a reason for that. It's kind of like, why do you only have, like, 5 bites on this plate? Because you don't want to ruin it by overkill. So I think they're doing it right, and I love that. But it just makes me looking forward to the next season or whatever. So yeah, I mean, initially when I first got into Shoresy, it kind of was one of those that took over, and like I said, I watched it a couple times here and there, and there's a lot of moments in it that are inspirational, and like, it has everything. I mean, it's one of those shows that for some reason grabbed me, and I think it did too for a lot of people. So anyway, it's popular for a reason, but I became a big fan, and anything to do, and now I'm into. So definitely stoked about this fourth season here. Regardless of what happened in season three, with which everybody was questioning, where's this going to go, what's going to happen now, and we're about to find out. So.
Yeah, and that's kind of the big thing here is we talked about it a little bit when three ended. We knew that was the end of part one. They played it that way. There was going to be a part two. We were pretty sure there would be season four, probably a season five. We've gotten the first little bit of it here. We kind of talked about that, what our hopes would be. Will Shoresy go back to hockey? Is this really the end? If that's the case, he can do the Brodu thing. Is he going to coach? Is he going to do the kids thing? There's a lot of different ways you could go with it. Based on kind of what our hopes were, what you were looking for, do you think the first three episodes of season four have more or less delivered on that?
I'll give that a 50-50, man. I'm kind of yes and no on that. I think they're taking their time with it, and they're doing it right. Am I blown away right away with this? Not so much, but I get it. We'll elaborate a little bit more in details as we progress here, but I think it's setting the tone, but it's not, it's not the three gyms setting the tone on the apple thorns.
Right. I think we had kind of some of the concerns we had are at least coming to roost a little bit here and that. Would you have the whole cast? What does Shoresy not playing hockey look like? Is there still other hockey? And again, we start to see a little bit more of it goes on, but this is the first time we've really gotten off-season Shoresy, right? All the other seasons of the show have instantly always come back to just all hockey. So this is
Yeah,
also not only a new step in Shoresy's life, it's the first time we've really experienced the off-season on the show. So it's kind of like a double
yeah.
whammy.
Exactly, dude. It's always been in season. It's always been a lot of, a good amount of action, a good amount of gameplay. You're in the rink. A
Right,
lot.
kind of leaves you knowing what you're going to get from episode of Shoresy, kind of. There's nothing wrong with that, but it was.
Yeah, I think it was perfectly played though, because, like, okay, so Shoresy's no longer playing hockey, and now we bring in the off season. Let's show the off season. So you're not going to get a lot of hockey action and that's cool because I think they're playing into it well, slow stroking it to get you into it, like lubing it up, getting you
At a
finesse
medium pace, you're
at a
saying.
medium
Yeah,
pace.
just you're not to the shampoo bottle yet. You're
So
just
yeah,
doing
so
the
instead of jumping into the next season, like, oh, let's do summertime, let's do the off season. And I think that idea is absolutely brilliant, honestly, man. So without saying too much to get ahead of ourselves into the episodes before we review them, I do think they're on the right track here, and I do like where they're going with that. And I think it was very well played the way they're doing it with the off season and whatnot.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a legit beginning of a part two, a separation from what the first three seasons were. Nothing wrong with that, but it is shaping up to be a little bit different, and hopefully it can be, equally good or differently good or betterly good. So far, so good. So let's kind of get into it. The first episode of season four was Summer in Sudvegas. That's the 19th overall episode of Shoresy. That was dropped January 24th, 2025. Pretty standard stuff here, directed by Dan Skeen, written by Jared Kiso. The synopsis was the Bulldogs continue their Cup celebration tour in Shoresy explores life after hockey. I have to say, this is a runner through the first three episodes. Again, we're spoiling everything here. I love everything about the Cup celebration tour. Before we get into what they do with the Cup, Soup, if you won something like this, be it in a sporting event, a cooking contest, I don't care, you guess the number of jelly beans in the jar and they give you a trophy, where would you be taking that joint out to have a drink out of it in celebration?
Dude, I was never good at that jelly bean thing, man. But I get you.
It's rigged, dude. The jelly bean thing is rigged, but that's a conversation for another day.
I think it depends on what it was, man. I mean, I think it's like a traditional thing for hockey players to do that. I know that some of the Super Bowl winners have done weird shit with the Lombardi and whatnot. And we all saw Tom Brady throwing it across boats or whatever, like over water. I don't know that I would do anything like that because I don't think I would jeopardize not only a disrespect in a disrespectful way, but I wouldn't jeopardize the actual thing itself. I don't know. See, I've never been in that
There's a
position.
different, like the Lombardi Trophy for football. They can make multiple copies of and that kind of thing. The Stanley Cup is a one for one that gets handed around. Everyone gets their day with the cup, but they send a guy with you with the cup. Obviously you
Are you
don't
got
have
a
that for the
fucking
no show.
chaperone? They
Yeah, oh
say,
yeah, the cup definitely has a chaperone. So that is that involved. But you said I think Roberto Luongo was eating pasta out of it. I mean, dudes drink out of it. I mean, pretty much just about. I think someone had their child baptized in it. I mean, people definitely enjoy their day with it. So
right.
let's
That's
just
the
say it
thing.
was a moderate cup that you and your friends enjoyed and meant something to people locally. Are you just taking it to your restaurant? I mean, you taking out a tour? Where are you taking it?
Yeah, I would definitely take it out. Maybe not everywhere with me, but special occasions and whatnot. I mean, I might take it to Disney World.
That would be a good one. I actually kind of want to. I know there's basically a trade war happening between Canada and the U.S., but I would have loved to see them take the cup to Disney World or even. I mean, a water park is
How
pretty
about
good.
Niagara
So
Falls? I mean, you can take it there,
yeah,
and
Niagara Falls. That's
I'm
definitely
surprised they haven't actually. Well, I don't want
well.
to spoil
Honestly,
that.
the Cup's having a good time. Let's not
Cup's
lie to
having a
you.
good time, and you want the cup to have a good time too, So if you're having a good time, let the cup have a good time. Take it with you, man. I mean, I don't know if yeah, maybe bring it to the strip joint.
I'd want to do like three. I'd want like one like private like house kind of party. We can show it off to people more. One like walking through the streets tailgating type of scenario where you can bring it around to see a lot of people with it, and then one like just straight out like party at the club with it or something like that. Those would be
Yeah.
my three. I'd either do all three in a day and I would die, or I would try to do the three over a course of the week or something like that.
I think if you really wanted to go, yeah, I mean, if you really had the means and wanted to go nutty with it and do something, like why not hit like all seven of the wonders of the world, all seven wonders of the world. Let's hit every one of them, and or something like that. I would want to do something like that, like some on a level or that meant something, or go to like some event or like something that, yeah, I don't know, that's more meaningful or whatever, kind of. I guess I don't know.
For what it's worth, my guess is these guys don't really have a plan. They start drinking out of it and they just go where the night takes them. In the first episode, they drink out of it at the Beef and Bird, the on the Bridge of Nations, which is an actual bridge. The Bell Park Splash and Go, a water park, at the Big Nickel, which is just legitimately a Big Nickel. Science North, a museum, and of course at the Diamonds Gentlemen's Club. And shout out Matthews on stage there, definitely having a good time with it. Man, goalies are weird.
Goalies are weird, man.
That's kind of the fun stuff. I will say we do talk about Shoresy having heart. I think a lot of that was expressed with Nat and her worries about Shoresy in this episode. That's kind of set up at the beginning, and then at the end, you have Shoresy having the conversation with her about like, I don't want to actually think about what I'm going to do after hockey because if I have to do that, I don't know what I'm going to do. And to the point, like she's like, oh, you're going to coach, and we'll talk about that at the end whether or not we think he ends up coaching. But he's like, man, if I had to do that and just like sit there, out there and watch it, I'd just start drinking. And Nat credits like, well, drinking on the bench sounds kind of fun. I wouldn't mind seeing Shoresy, whatever, having a couple puppers on the bench or whatever while he's getting his dip on and coaching a little bit. I think that could be fun. Another fun part here was the whole opening. Did you get Kenny Powers vibes off all this when they're partying at the lake?
I could see the relation there, man. But see, I like that, dude. I mean, you win a championship and you're a sports team or, on any level, whether it's, professional, minor leagues, whatever it is, man. If that's what you're doing for a living and you reach that goal, dude, you're gonna be celebrating. And off season for hockey is in the summer, so why not do summer shit like tubing? And you want to start talking about tubing because there's a lot of tubing going. The boys love tubing.
I mean, well, because you're on a tube. I mean, you could get a tube tuggy, or is it a tuggy on a tube? I'm not sure.
On a Tuesday with 210.
I mean, but there is a lot of, there's some motion in the ocean, so to speak, there. But I think I'd probably just prefer the handy in the hammock. It sounds a little bit safer, maybe. I guess it depends on the parties involved. I did think it was a fun opening again. I think a lot of the best camera work and cinematography the show did was in the hockey scenes. And since we don't have as much of that, I think they deployed some of that on the lake with all the tubing and everything. I thought that looked
Yeah.
cool. I love the guys kind of turning around when you get the initial title card drop there. You just see the four boys, the buys, they turn around there. And yeah, we'll talk about the buys and the boys, but and even the Brodo stuff here. I know, that's a 3-on-1 or whatever now. I thought it was really cool. They got Doug Gilmore, Marty McSorley, and Sean Avery. And I thought they were all pretty good in their own right. I think Sean Avery probably took it away a little bit. Him and Shoresy definitely had the best kind of repertoire. But I did also love just, again, Shoresy, kind of the heart and respect of it. He's this guy, they call him the dirtiest player in hockey and everything, but he is so respectful to Doug Gilmore and Marty McSorley. They get
Mr.
Marty McSorley on thinking that, like, yeah, Mr. McSorley, thinking that, like, oh, yeah, he'll defer to him, he'll go over him a little bit because he said something bad about him to Dougie, to Doug Gilmore there.
Give him the elbow.
And he's still like, oh no, Marty still got to go first here. You go right down the pike. I love that they've kind of established Shoresy. He's a pretty immutable character. He is who he is, but I think we all love him for that. You know what I mean? He's that kind of whatever. Got a heart of gold at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, that's the thing, the chirping and and the violent hockey play or whatever, that's part of the game. That's what made him good at it, and made him who he was or still is who he is. But does he respect the game and the players? Absolutely. I mean, and if he doesn't, he'll straight up call you out on it.
I guess we should also just give him a little respect. Dude, look good in his suits, right? Got the tooth fixed, got a little hair did, got some nice suits. I mean,
I think he hates wearing them suits, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He doesn't like talking about the clothes, so I think he doesn't like the suits. I'm surprised he even agreed to do that, rather than just like a Bulldogs hoodie and whatever he normally.
Yeah, he wears like the duster and a hoodie. That's pretty much the Shoresy uniform. The duster, the hoodie, and the cup. That's kind of how he does it.
That might have been in his contract for being on the TV because I'm sure there was something involved there financially and legally or whatever. But either way, man, like he hated it. He let it be known that he did not give a fuck whatsoever about it. It was kind of like
that was one of the best parts. All the chicks were so jealous. Like, man, I wish we could not care like that. Like, she legitimately didn't care how it went down. I do like that the hair and makeup thing. It set up the great line from Sean Avery. Where when he comes back on for the second time, he's like,
how your hairline managed to retreat that much further over the weekend, it's remarkable.
Thanks.
If I lived above a face that ugly, I'd seek higher ground too.
They gave Sean Avery a couple of lines here, man.
He had a couple
really
good ones.
did a good job with it. Like, he kept that energy.
Yeah, Peninsula Head, all that. He had a
Oh,
couple.
yeah, the archipelago.
Yeah, it's hard to chirp Shoresy, dude, because he's going to out chirp you. But yeah, that was yeah.
Right, they wanted to get Shoresy to be Shoresy, right? And that's
Exactly.
I think they did a good job. But let's be honest, do you think Shoresy was right when he was basically like, yeah, they're pretty much tuning in just for Anika. They're not really tuning in for me. I mean,
Anika Shambo. Well, no, I don't think so. I think that show was already there, and I think what Shoresy didn't realize is they are tuning in for him because like that already existed, but now if they have him, that's something that people are going to watch. But the thing with that is it was a web show, which is like a couple of seconds, built for people with super short attention spans that are going to click on it, watch it, and be done with it, and that's it. So,
Oh,
like,
that's a great sequence when they talk about that. She's like, "Oh, in like the 10 seconds before they start looking for porn or whatever."
exactly, and unfortunately, that's kind of what it is right now. I mean, nobody, everybody is that short attention span, unless they're signing on for a movie or a full blown like, I'm going to watch this whole episode of this actual show or something. But there's a lot of people, most people right now, just watch little shorts, little videos, little TikTokers, little whatever the fuck's, because there is no attention span anymore. Really, like, so
Like an episode of Shoresy is the short for me. That's the, a 20-minute episode of Shoresy is about one of the shortest things I watch these days, probably.
agreed, me too, man. But yeah,
Watch an old, episode of The Simpsons or an old, half-hour comedy show used to run about 22 minutes or so.
younger generation is weird, and then that's something we'll talk. That's something I definitely will talk about as we get into like the next couple.
Yeah, we might have to yell at the kids to get off our lawn or something before we get out of here. I thought I liked Shoresy. I don't think he looked like he got groomed to pet value, although I did definitely laugh at
I mean,
that line.
his spray tan was not nearly as bad as it was for the calendar.
Oh, rewatching that was so much fun because he's the only one who shows up with it, and then they make everyone else go do it anyway. So it's like, well, I thought everyone else was going to show up that way, dude.
His spray tan and a grease down. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll see. He might keep up with the eyebrow maintenance on his own, for better or worse. And do you like how they're teasing the weird Sudbury thing? It's supposed to be this party. It's good, but weird. They start with the tease here. Do you think this is going to kind of be like the big no-show party last year, where they kept teasing it, then we finally got it, and I think it was like episode 4 last year or season 3?
I think the season might end with that. If it's not in the last episode, it'll be the one before. But I feel like it'll be the last one. They finally get there or whatever, and then something, whatever, and then they wrap it up after that.
Setting the bar a little high. One of the few extra build here is a contortionist, and you do actually see her at the end of whenever they cut to it randomly, just getting like 90 degrees or whatever with the back.
Well, Cirque du Soleil action going on over there, man.
A little bit, man.
Seems cool. I mean, I'm intrigued. I want to see some footage from the weird Sudbury, so we'll see. I think, I do think obviously they're going to get there because they wouldn't be talking about it all season if they weren't. If they was, that's kind of like the goal.
Is that what we're building up to? Do you think? Because we don't have a big tournament here. Is that going to be the climax? Kind of, I wonder.
I kind of think so, because what else could it be? There's other things that we need to worry about. Mostly, I mean, my biggest concern right now is the gyms. The gyms are going. They were not happy being slighted, but that was a great visual when they get left on the dock, and then later on they just cut back to it, and they're still just standing there. Like you can understand how, they're like, that's of course, this means war. A little bit of an old like Looney Tunes callback almost. Man, gyms are important. Don't fuck with the gyms, dude.
Yeah, you can't, dude. We really appreciate the gyms.
Yeah.
Big fan of the gyms, dude. And
huge fan of the gyms, dude.
Yeah. We'll just even say it that we don't need to pronounce it different or whatever. They're just gym. Everyone's gym. That's fine. I'm only disappointed that they couldn't cast 3 actors that were also named Jim. They did such a good job with casting, real hockey players, stuff like that. You couldn't cast Jims to be the Jims. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I think at least 2 of the Jims were NHL. One of them played for the Carolina.
Oh yeah, they're all very talented. It's just fun. You know what I mean? It'd be even funnier if they were all
if their actual names.
Sometimes with comedy shows like this, they just to make it easier, especially if there's a lot of improv, they'll let people just go by their first names just to make just so in the moment people don't mess it up more or less. So whatever. That's we're still happy. We want to see what the gyms are doing, but the question is, the gyms probably didn't do enough to be the MVP of the episode, right? But who did? Supa, who's your episode MVP for this one? The Sudvegas joint, season 4, episode 1. Who you got?
All right, dude. This might shock you, but for this first episode of the season 4, the first episode of the new season of Shoresy, my MVP is not Shoresy. My MVP isn't even one of the main characters. My MVP is a character that's been sprinkled in throughout and really came up huge this episode from what I think. And I'm going with none other than Anika Shambo. Because I think she did an awesome fucking job, dude. It was really like, it was that time for her to shine, and she did. She saw her angle, played it that with the other one and everything else, and she kind of held this episode together, and it gave like kind of the vibe for the way this episode is going to go, and what some aspects of the show could take or angles it could go. Anyway, she did a killer job in this one. She's been solid throughout the entire series of Shoresy, and I think she was the all-star in this one. Without picking Shoresy himself, I think Anik is the one.
Ooh, I like that. And it's a great portrayal I think a lot of people sometimes assume that someone is really attractive. Well, they can't also be smart. That's not fair. You can't be smart and attractive. And she does a good job she understands her role, at least, right? I'm not saying that she
Yeah,
can send humans to Mars, but she certainly understands what's going on and, is doing a
I
good
think
job
she
of furthering
played
her
it well,
career. And
man.
yeah,
She had a game plan and she took a leadership
right. She
role.
plays off of Shoresy, right? Shoresy's
And
like, she
she followed
understands like how to
through.
yeah, kind of that's her meal ticket with this, and she does a good job of getting it done. And you know what? I'm gonna kind of stay right there with the bro dude from the 3-on-1 here, but not go with Shoresy. No Anika. I'm actually gonna go with Sean Avery. Only had the two scenes, but got almost just a ton of laughs out of me. Almost everything was gold here. The back and forth was kind of reminiscent of what he has with Jory. Just solid stuff here. And Sean Avery again, kind of jealous. I believe he married Elijah Cuthbert. That's why he has dual citizenship. Even bringing him up, I definitely did not like him as a hockey player. I thought he slayed here. I thought all the hockey players did good, but they gave him a couple scenes because he could handle it. And shout out Sean Avery, dude. I think he really slayed it
He
there.
did,
So
yeah, he did a great job. Even though they did say it looked like he got hit in the face with a shovel a couple times, shovel
he's a
face.
shovel face.
But he
He's a
played
shovel
into it
face.
well, and he was good with the back and forth with Shoresy too, man. It was somebody that could
Yeah,
actually
and Anika still
down
got her
that
little
low.
drops in there too. So that's again, I think all the bro dude stuff, the 3-on-1 or whatever, everyone there had pretty good chemistry. And before we get into episode 2, we got to give a grade here for episode 1. We're gonna have a couple beers here. We're gonna crush them. So we're gonna grade it on a scale of 1 to 6 cans of puppers. Perfect episodes, a full sixer. If it's not that great, you're only getting one. The soup, what do you think, man? How many cans of puppers are you giving to this one?
All right. Well, I was really torn. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I decided on 4 cans. 4 cans, chugging 4 beers on this one. It's going to leave me thirsty, but that's a good thing too. I kind of wanted the first episode to be more of a. It definitely set the tone for what it was, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't. It's four. It's a four. It's a 4 pack. It's a pounder. It's a 4 pack. You know.
Fair enough. I'm going to go just slightly above that. Maybe I started a little bit earlier in my pregame. I'm going to put 5 puppers down for this bad boy. I enjoyed it again. I think they had a lot of work to do. You weren't quite sure what you were going to get. You don't get the whole cast here, but I thought everybody did a good job. I thought it was a lot of fun. It moved the plot forward. I got some laughs. I thought the needle drops were good. I thought the direction was good. I don't really have any complaints. It's not a classic episode of Shoresy, but all things considered, is a way to kind of set off part 2. Super happy with it. Like 5 cans of puppers happy.
Right on, man. Yeah, I mean, it definitely set up the this season or whatever, and kind of where we're at. Gave everybody an idea of what's going on, but what I do like is that a lot of it's still open at the end of this episode. You still don't like a lot of uncertainties on a lot of levels, which is cool because that keeps you interested going into the next ones, man. So.
Yeah, especially knowing we know, we've seen the first 3 of the season here now. There's nice little setup here too with some runners that are going to happen, setting up the gyms, stuff like that. So I think it was well written as well. I definitely enjoyed it. Good springboard into season 4, I think.
Absolutely.
All right, then we're going to get into episode 2. This is Blueberry Buddies, Season 4, Episode 2, the 20th overall episode of Shoresy. Dropped at the same time as Episode 1 of Season 4, released January 24th, 2025. This one was directed by Sean Skeen, written by Jared Kiso. The synopsis is the Bulldogs mentor the troubled Sudbury AAA Lakers. I get the setup here for the whole mentorship thing. What did you think about that one? I kind of wonder. It feels like these guys are probably going to be around all season. They did the whole video yearbook intro thing. That went on for almost 5 minutes. That was a little bit long. I get that they were trying to introduce these characters. Not my favorite intro for a Shoresy episode. I'll just put it that way.
It definitely ran a bit long, and I remember the first, like on my first go around on this, I'm like, this is going on way too long. It's funny because you know what it reminded me of when they were doing the truck commercial. Yeah, I remember when
Yeah,
that
that
was
yes, that
they
was
had
great. That was
retake, but that was funnier than this. This was kind of funny because obviously they couldn't get it right or whatever, and I get it. Like,
truck commercial up because we knew the characters already. This was a tough way to
yeah.
introduce the characters, I think, a little bit.
Right, right. So yeah, it went on a bit long. But then when I rewatched it the second time, it seemed to not go on as long because because I was thinking this is going to go on forever, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, well that wasn't as bad this time. But yeah, definitely went on a bit long. Other than that, like I get it, I kind of like it. It's better than some of the other intros, but yeah, probably could trim that up a little bit.
The final shot of the first episode of the season, was Laura Moore telling Shoresy, all right, where are you gonna find a super a movie star or whatever that'll want to have sex with you, and you kind of cut away to this Jill, the charity chick here. I don't know. I think she's maybe scheming on Shoresy a little bit, but I do not think that she looks like Charlize Theron.
I don't either, man.
I didn't see that.
I think she looks more like what's that other one from the Malkovich movie?
Catherine Keener?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks more like her than Charlie's Theron or whatever. Not saying it
Well, a
looks
little
like
bit. I can see it. Okay, yeah, she was also in the 40-year-old version.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, right, right, yeah, yeah. He did a bunch of things, but
Yeah, oh yeah, most recently, yeah, that she definitely been in a bunch of stuff. So, but not Charlize Theron. I think I'll take all of our girls for what it's worth. We get some nice kind of runners here that continue to go. We get the tease, obviously, for Wild Sudbury. We get a little bit more development on that in the third episode. And how many tens are there in Sudbury? A lot of the references to there just being a ridiculous amount of good-looking women in
depends
Sudbury. It doesn't
everywhere you
matter if
look,
it's
dude.
winter or summer or I just know that this is the best tourism advertisement they could ever make for Sudbury. I feel I
Yeah,
want to
really.
move there, especially right now. I am
I feel like
all
that would ruin
about
it,
that.
though.
Yeah, well, we're gonna all start showing
All
up
of
in
a
our
sudden,
Shoresy
everybody's gonna
jerseys and
start
root for
showing up to
everybody.
Sudbury, and that's gonna turn
So
into
no, it's another one of them damn Shoresy people.
Sudbury will turn into
And
fucking Myrtle Beach or something. Like, it'll be
well,
awful.
North Myrtle Beach. Well, it depends. I mean, Myrtle Beach can be awesome. Shout out the home of Anna White, North Myrtle Beach.
Yeah,
Fun kind of callbacks there with Matthews. You got a little bit in the first episode in here where Shoresy's like, dude, if we're not playing hockey, I do not want anything to do with you. Just absolutely, just a pitch perfect. That Shoresy just like, dude, if you're playing goalie for me, okay. I have no interest otherwise. And then the whole thing that the goalies are weird, right down to them when they have to deal with the kids. It's like, yo, Matthews, take care of your boy. And he instantly does it. Everyone just
I
kind of
like
accepts
that
that
though.
goalies are
Yeah,
weird.
I
Just
think
this
that.
super fun runner that's been going on since the first season.
I mean, goalies are always weird, dude.
I've known mostly soccer and lacrosse goalies. Lacrosse goalies are crazy. Soccer
Lacrosse,
goalies are
anybody
pretty
is crazy.
normal. The hockey goalie, it's a lifestyle, dude. You have to stay incredibly flexible. At least put it that way. And I'm pretty sure you're also not a fan of the Blueberry Buddies. Just not the greatest.
No, but it was kind of like, remember back early and like what it was, season one, it was like, oh, we have to be the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs, and it was kind of like the same, like, oh, this sucks, but we're gonna do it anyway kind of thing. And again, back to the sponsorships and whatever, and they came in,
Right.
but there was a deal, like, got to get us into Weird Sudbury, dude. So, again, linking that in with that runner as well. Yeah.
I feel like you could have done like Blueberry Brothers or Bros.
You could
I
have done
don't see
anything better than
any.
that, man. Or Bulldog, or I mean,
Well,
or
I mean, if you have to keep Blueberry in there, that's kind of the problem for the sponsorship thing. Because Bulldog, anything sounds cool. Bulldog, just a cool
yeah.
word. Blueberry is, again, it's fine, but it's akin to strawberry. It's good once in a while, but you're probably not wanting to do it all the time.
It's not tough guy hockey shit, that's for sure.
No, it's definitely not tough guy hockey shit. And ironically, one way they kind of tie that in here is they actually, I would say, helicopter it in.
Yeah,
Did
they did
you kind of pick
helicopter.
up where this scene was going? I'd like the setup for it. that the girls are all worried when they hear it's like a sexual complaint or sexual harassment or whatever the
Could be
accusation.
it could be anything, and it usually is something small.
Right, and they're expecting it's the boys, and they're banging the hockey wives, which is a nice setup here that they're setting up. That the fact that they're going to bang the hockey moms, so that's
Right.
actually nice foreshadowing. This is
Yeah, that
another
was
one I thought
brilliant.
went on a little bit too long, but the more I watch it, there's a lot of different subtle levels to this joke between the pronouncing of helicopter, the pronunciation of helicopter, the dude's actually, saying they can do it, me being like, well, I know what it is, but I can't demonstrate it. Nat not being able to remember the actual word, like, oh, they're propellering or whatever. I
Yeah.
think it went on a long time, and I think ultimately it paid off, right?
Yeah, I think this is a runner that's gone on since then until, as far as we've seen so far, and I think that's cool, dude. That's one thing that I think might stick even like into the next, the later end of the season. Like every once in a while, it's like, it might come back, and that's fine. I love
Oh,
that.
give her all the whirly bird.
Yeah, the helicopter, try with an H. Helicopter, yeah. So everything about it was fun, especially, Dolo first tries to do it.
Dolo's was the best. Dolo trying to
And she's like,
illustrate.
hey, she's like, I'm gonna need that in English or whatever, and then Goody does it, which was also equally
Yeah,
as
very good. And then Nat kind of looks over like, oh, I understand why you couldn't demonstrate it
right,
to
yeah.
me
So I
now.
mean, that
That
was
was
fun. But
all.
then the main point of this whole thing is like, well, what's the problem here? You're in a locker room with a bunch of dudes after practice or
Oh,
whatever.
and even more than that, the kid only did it so he could try to get sent home from practice because he didn't want to practice. On top of all that,
So this is where Shoresy's at. It's like, well,
Helicopter.
Helicopter?
Helicopter.
So?
That's
What?
what we said, old man.
That gets you a complaint of a sexual nature?
Yeah, can you
No
imagine?
one's talking to you.
Why won't them? Girls are acting like they never heard anything so bad as that.
I could tell him a couple things.
What it do, what it does.
that leads into the whole thing about like the taking nobody takes a shower anymore because you can't get naked in the fucking locker room.
So you come to the rink, you're wearing a fucking what?
Undergarment.
You come to the rink, you're wearing an undergarment. You skate in it. You sweat like a pig in it.
Yeah, they skate the shit out of us. Sometimes guys puke.
And then you go into the dressing room. You don't shower. You don't wash. You just pull your jeans on over this sweaty undergarment and go home?
Most of the boys wear jogs, not jeans.
But I like that they're leaning into this and letting it be known like, hey, this is fucked.
That's fucking disgusting.
Ça m'écoeure.
That's fucking...
Crotté.
Why?
So no one feels uncomfortable.
Oh, so no one feels
That's
uncomfortable.
some gutter shit.
That is an overreaction.
Crissement dégueulasse.
it probably, again, I think it probably went on for a little bit too long because there weren't a ton of laughs here. I do like there to get a little bit more kind of laughs out of the situation. I think they do a little bit better job of that in a similar situation in episode 3. I will again point out the boys are still partying. The guys, they're still out there partying with the cup. This time they're just at a water tower randomly. They're drinking out of it at the water tower. That was fun. They're at Northern Exotics, which is a pet store. Okay. And the Super Stack, which is legitimately just a group of smokestacks. Are they running out of stuff, or is this just them trying to keep it on the DL?
Man, I think they're just trying to hit every landmark, dude. What was it? Was it Griswold who had to hit the biggest ball of wax, or
Biggest ball of yarn, was that the Simpsons? I think
maybe
that's
it was but you try and hit all these landmarks, dude. And like I alluded to earlier, like I would go to every seven wonder of the world, but yeah, like why not hit every the Grand Canyon, the biggest ball of whatever the fucking the whatever it is. There's a ton of these. You ever drive cross country, the crazy shit you see, there's something here.
Oh God, what is it? North of the border or whatever, or south of the border or whatever it is when you're driving up and you start seeing signs 400 miles away from it when you're coming up south on
Yeah,
95.
it's not even really that cool. It's all right, but
Oh no, it's definitely nowhere near as cool, but it's a great advertising. Give them credit for that. Maybe not as good the bro do stuff here, the 3-on-1 or what have you is in the first episode. But what I did love was the entire karaoke thing. I did not see this coming. And this is, I think, where Shoresy shows its heart. I think in a lot of scenarios, this would all have been about his bros show up there and they're making fun of him or cracking jokes or whatever. And instead, like, yeah, they're kind of like laughing at him a touch, but they're also laughing with him and kind of his earnestness. and the whole thing really pays off right down to even the "You Learn" by Alanis Morissette. Not probably the jam I would have gone for, but I love how Shoresy is just so deferential, because she's like the Canadian queen basically over there. So that all worked for me. How'd you like the karaoke scene, Soup? Again, it's a little bit kind of, not what you would expect for Shoresy, but in this case, I think it really worked for me. How about you?
Here's what I'm gonna say. This was absolutely my favorite scene of this episode, man. Shoresy killed karaoke, and I don't know if have you ever been karaoke, man?
A little bit
Dude, what
to
would be
know, like,
what's your go-to song if you go to karaoke, man? If
oh,
you're
I've
gonna do
never actually
karaoke right
I've
now,
gone to karaoke. I've never actually sang because I
oh,
cannot
yeah,
even. You think Shoresy's bad? You have not. I'd have to do like William Shatner style spoken word or something like that. I'd
that's
have
the
to.
thing about karaoke, though, man. It like you go up there and you just don't give a fuck and entertain and have fun, and that's why people and dude, I think Shoresy killed.
For a
You
regular person,
like,
absolutely. I thought that was great. I like the way they handled that.
and they
I
did.
don't
That's
like it
kind
when
of
like
what,
professional singers
it's
are doing the
cool that
karaoke stuff.
they're, yeah, that's what it is. A bar vibe. You're out there, you're cheering on your buddies, and the whole team shows up, and then the owners show up and shit. And I thought that was a climatic moment of that episode. And that was actually my favorite scene in that episode, man. So
Yeah, I think the same. I like all the guys are like just that Shoresy goes for it. They're there for it, right? It's not
yeah,
that they
yeah.
don't really care that he can't actually hit the note, just that he tries.
Yeah, and every time, when he does, he's like, he's not going to do it again, and everybody cheers, and and that was
And
the
he's
high.
just doing it to like make his girl happy, to impress his girl. You know what I mean? That's
And it
like
almost
wholesome
gave
as
you that
fuck, dude.
element of somebody doing something like in a game. It was almost that intensity.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, cheers for this or
While
that.
being kind of like a
Uh,
romantic gesture, and then you get the girls involved and everything. Again, I did not think that would be kind of my favorite moment of this episode, but I'm right there with you, man. I think it absolutely was. I don't want to say, oh, you can't argue with that, but that was just so much fun. And I think the epitome of what Shoresy is, right? You get a little bit, sometimes it's kind of formulaic, but man, when they want to, they can really kind of stick it to you with the heart. And, they're getting a little bit more aggressive. They paid up for the Atlantis here. You're getting some named hockey players. I feel like the budget is creeping up just at least incrementally a little bit. So let's see where they can go with it. I think that's about it for episode 2, but we do need to hand out our MVP award. Soup, what do you think for this one, man? Who are you going with here? You need me to go first? You got somebody?
I don't typically like to go for for the obvious, but I have to this time. It's got to be Shoresy, mostly because of that karaoke thing. So it's got to be
Yeah, I'm
Shoresy.
also going with Shoresy, so I have no. And I think that one's kind of clear on this episode. I don't really know who else you go with. Not that anybody else was, bad or anything. It's just every once in a while, Shoresy gets to be the star of his own show, and I think that was absolutely the case for this one. How about an episode grade? Soup, you gave out 4 cans of puppers to episode 1 of season 4. How many you giving out to episode 2?
You know what, dude? I'm staying right there. I'm drinking 4 for this one too, man. And hopes to finish a 6-pack in one episode by the end of the season. Right now, I'm still sticking with 4, and I'm thirsty still. But 4 is where it's at for this one, man.
Oh, I feel you. I always have the thirst. It's like the hunger for the zombies. I always have the thirst for more puppers. I'm going to go with 4 on this one. Slightly down from the first episode. I mean, it was not my favorite, but I think they really saved it with the karaoke scene. I enjoyed that so much. So I'm going to go ahead, give it 4 cans of puppers. And I think that's about it for episode 2 here. So let's get into episode 3.
Yeah, well, real quick before the end of episode 2, I do think the introduction of the of the Sudbury Lakers, the Vice, the younger one, I think that's gonna.
The boys or the boys?
Yeah, I hope it does carry on. I think it will through this season, but I kind of hope that that's more, um, you know, throughout the future of the thing. We'll see where these guys go, but I mean, it can't always be.
It's tricky with kids,
Yeah,
especially with depending on what age they are, how they age up and that kind of thing. It would be cool. I don't know if I would like that at the expense of bringing back some of the other characters that from
absolutely
the
not,
first 3
because
seasons. So that's
that's one
then it
thing
gets a little bit overstuffed. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's actually been a little bit nice. You've gotten a little bit more development because you've cut down the supporting cast a little bit, bringing these guys in. It worked, but again, I think that's why you had to have the thing at the beginning of episode 2 here where you did all the video yearbook stuff to kind of just microwave their character development real quick in their introduction.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, dude. Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I did fail to mention, or either of us failed to mention, is the fact that they have brought back most of the cast, and the ones that aren't back yet, like Sanguinet, or who else isn't even back? I think that's it.
Frankie.
And Frankie, yeah. JJ, Frankie, JJ. But I feel like they'll come back, or maybe not. I don't know. But either way, most of them are there. Do we miss their presence? Yeah, a little bit, but I think they're playing it off. Obviously, Frankie's probably back in Quebec banging Laurence Leboeuf or who knows who, and Sanguinet's doing whatever. He's at home for the summertime,
Yeah,
So
well, we'll have to say we're gonna have to, I think, speculate on Frankie a little bit because that could be really interesting because he's probably in a bad place after given the way kind of season 3 worked out.
actually, you're right. He's probably not banging Laurence Leboeuf. I think she's pissed at him.
He might be actually banging like some Tim Hortons, just a 12 bucket of Timbits or whatever at this point. I'm not even sure. It could be rough. Could be rough for Frankie. We'll have to check.
If you put that watermelon in the oven until it reaches 98.6, dude, probably.
Or just get, I'd take an avocado in my snorkel, but no one can afford an avocado these days.
Fucking inflation, man.
All right, man. Let's get into episode 3. This is The Itch, season 4, episode 3 of Shoresy, the 21st overall episode of the show, released January 31st, 2025, directed by Dan Skeen, written by Jared Kiso. The short plot synopsis is Shoresy's life after hockey is put to the test. What is not put to the test is our patience. After the second episode opening, with the buys and their video yearbook not being our favorite, how cool was it with the opening montage of our guys, of our boys, getting it on with the hockey moms?
Yeah, man, I think I kind of alluded to it earlier. It was a whole thing. Well, at least they're not banging the moms, and now here they are banging the moms, I'm not surprised. I thought it.
You can't blame them. I mean, those are some high-level hockey moms right there.
Of course. Hey, man, Sudbury is full of tens, dude. I mean,
It's
10s
amazing.
is where you look, and not surprised, but definitely think it's cool. It's definitely following the scheme of the show or whatever, how the show is going to go, and I definitely think that whether or not it's going to end up being a big deal or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just part of it. So we'll see. But yeah, good way to start this one out, and yeah, man, like we'll see where this takes us, dude. But if you're not banging a hot hockey mom and you're a fucking hockey player, then what are you doing in life?
Great direction, just overall. I think just from where they saw it at the end of the last episode, and then everything here, and just how just epitomizing just that these guys are just on a roll, right? That they're all rolling into tens. Kind of Shoresy's been talking about that all season. I think this is just a really cool illustration of that. It kind of just gets you into it in a way that, like, these guys are rolling right now. Why would they kind of do anything else? And it makes you worry. Nat's like everyone's trying to get Nat to get out of like doing so much hockey stuff. But man, if you do tubing for too long, I mean, maybe you just go down the hole with the buys there.
And the boys love tubing, I mean, on a Tuesday.
Oh, they love that. I mean, it all depends if you're getting the tuggy on the tube or what have you. But that's a time and a story for
on a Tuesday.
Not today. Yeah, on a Tuesday. Hey, how about Corey and Liam, dude? We finally got them back here, and I will say, the opening bit of this is about as good as I've ever heard them get into Shoresy, right? I thought they got a few good licks in there.
Oh yeah, they ripped them hard, dude. It was nice to see Corey and Liam back, dude. Good to see some of those old faces, and there's always good interactions when Shoresy's doing the reffing for the beer league or whatever it is there, man. And yeah, Corey and Liam, they stuck it to him pretty hard right away, man, and rightfully so, dude. I mean,
I think they won this round.
Yeah, maybe, man. I mean, Shoresy had a couple good ones, but it wasn't. He didn't have I don't think he had a full knockout punch in that whole slew.
He's out of practice. It was either the Doritos one or the shower floor, but I don't know if neither really did it that much. I think the Doritos one was my favorite.
Yeah. I can't bring one into the head right now because none of them were.
Yeah, they didn't stand up. Yeah, that's there was no kitty litter involved or anything like that this time.
And that was the snails was pretty good. Like
yeah, but the snails centipedes, it was kind of the same. The earwigs or whatever. It was like 3 versions of the same joke, kind of though.
Yeah.
I again didn't hate it, but I think.
Yeah, a lot better in the past, but at least getting back into that is cool. So maybe we see more of that, going forward.
Yeah, I think chalk that one up for Corey and Liam. So shout out to I think the guys and the boys. I'm not even at this point. I'm not even sure. But shout out to our guys. They're still celebrating this episode. They're at the townhouse, which is just kind of outside at a corner tavern, which is cool. They're at Wagon Wheel Ranch, which basically just looks like a random farm you would go to on a high school field trip. Then they are at the Northern Ontario Railroad Museum. If you're watching on YouTube, look behind the soup. You will see that scene. And of course, at the Sudbury Cartways, which is the go-kart track, the original deluxe hamburgers, which is it looks kind of like the Canadian McDonald's to me, and at Canada's largest mural, which looks like it's just on the side of a building. All
Yeah,
very cool, but again,
killer,
less
dude.
people almost every time, right? Even the I did enjoy the one in front of the deluxe hamburger joint, where it's just like the one worker out there with them having a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. You know what? And keep on keeping on, dude. You know, if you win the trophy, fucking go for it, man. You know, I mean, it's not
I would
something.
not fill the whole thing up with ketchup and mustard, but whatever. If
Probably
you
not.
want to
I
fill
mean,
it up with chicken
I don't
nuggets,
know. Can you
maybe.
fit that thing through the dishwasher? You got to have a good sanitation.
Oh God, no, yeah, that's I don't even want to know. But again, I've seen people drink beer out of a bowling shoe, so what
No,
do I
me
know?
too. Bowling ball. Well, have you ever been to
Both
a
when
yeah.
winning, I've seen them do it after they won, not because they lost, but because they won. They drank alcohol out of a bowling shoe, and alcohol is not as much of a disinfectant as they kind of might have thought here. That I just want to just get that out of the way.
Alcohol will kill
Uh,
anything, man. You can drink it out of whatever, dude. Yeah, no, not so much really, but maybe I don't know. Man, I mean, if you got Everclear in there, then I don't know, maybe, but like shit. I
Yeah, well,
would.
I was in college, at least when I made jungle juice in the tub, I would put down heavy duty trash bags first and at least try to
I
put
have certainly, yeah,
some sort of a barrier in there. Just
I have certainly drank my share of alcohol through a very sketchy or various
that
sketchy
came out of a bathtub. Alcohol that was made in a bathtub is a very specific genre of alcohol.
ultra dirty funnels or whatever. There's you know what I mean. But hey, man, you're in the when you go for it.
All right. Well, speaking of unexpected alcohol, let's move over to our guy Jory Jordan, who at the end winds up doing some shots that I did not see coming. I really thought that they were going to get him on the 3-on-1 joint earlier when the women came on. I thought that was actually going to be Jory Jordan who they were getting. So I thought it was a nice surprise to see him here. And you talked about maybe picking things up on a rewatch. This time on the rewatch, I definitely picked up on as they're walking in through the studio. Jory Jordan expresses to Shoresy how important it is to have a lanyard because
Yeah.
it's important to security guards. And, he underestimates these guys. He doesn't care about them. When they finally get to the security guard, Jory Jordan asks, "Oh, yeah, can you give me coffee?"
Right after he says something about paying attention to the little guys or some
Yeah,
shit,
exactly.
like, some weird comment. It was like, "Oh, give me a cup of coffee," man. But that's Jory Jordan, dude. And yes, I was not surprised to see him. I kind of expected to see him at some point, especially with this you get 3-on-1 thing with the bro dude or whatever, man. But it was cool, and man, he fucking crushed it, dude. Um, when we first saw him, he was a bit younger, and the crazy thing is, it's only like 2 seasons ago, or whatever. So he can't be that much older, but he seems like an adult now almost, or like
Well,
a
he's
young.
that age. My guess is if you looked at the actor, he's probably, some like 15 to 18, in that puberty age where, all of a sudden he's gonna have a beard in about 6 months.
Yeah. But yeah, it was it. I mean, and that's the character that you kind of love to hate. Yeah, but it's always nice to have him. It's good to see him in there, even though he's a kind of a fucking little prick.
I kind of want a team up between him and Shoresy now. I thought their rapport is so great, the way they rip into each other. I think
Yeah.
that's why I like Sean Avery so much because it was very reminiscent of it. And I thought Attica both got a couple of good shots in there. And then obviously he went off on her with the whole fact that she called him by his name reversed, Jordan Jory. And then,
Yeah.
Shoresy points out
It
it's
was
the same
wrong.
way on the lanyard. And he gets so mad that he throws the lanyard away. Again, some of the smaller comedy on this show, I think, really lands sometimes. And I
Well, he
think
had some good
absolutely
ones out of
everything
Nate,
landed
too,
here.
yeah.
Oh, and then after the fact, sorry, we're gonna go out drinking. He's like, "Are you even old enough to drink?" No, don't worry about
Don't
that.
be a pussy.
And
Yeah.
and then when they're drinking there, he drinks the shot. He steals Shoresy's shot, and
Yeah.
he even tries to pitch him on the. They try to. Shoresy wants to actually rate the dips when they want him to rate the drip. Which is your fit. As the youth say these days with your outfit or whatever. And give Shoresy credit. He's here to talk about hockey, not the outfits. But Jordan, he's like, "Yo, I will do that dip podcast if you want to do that." I'm gonna get you in on the dip. So I would be there for that if they
I
actually want
know,
to do that.
oh, man. But I love that. And back to this drip thing, I know that's been a thing for a couple of years now. I think did we used to call it like even this is not even this is still past my time, but like before it was drip, was it called bling? Was that what it was, or is that something different?
Bling is more jewelry specific, I believe, whereas drip is just referring to like your outfit is so sick, like it's dripping down to the ground or something along.
That was
Again,
it.
yeah, kind of. I mean, like you're like they call it a fit now. It's not your outfit now anymore. It's a fit. Like
Hmm.
I don't know.
How about
It's
gear?
fine.
I like gear your gear, dude.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I remember when shit was tight. You know what I mean? It is what
it
it
was
is.
tight, yeah.
I'm behind the times. I will
Dude, so
fully
sorry,
admit to
man.
that. But that's again why I think the show appeals to us because we are in the
I'm glad
demographic
I'm
that
behind the times, though, man. I love
that's
being
sure. I would not have wanted to grow up with social media. I'll tell you that right now. Having all of our stuff recorded on. No, thank you. Well, we keep talking about kind of the Utes here, and it's been a little bit of a runner. Will Shoresy coach or not? When he goes out there, we get to see, we've seen the first couple seasons when Shoresy's walking out to the ice, the camera follows him from behind. And in this case, he just kind of watches the guys do their drills and actually start puking a little bit. But he gets a little twitch, a little smile on his face here. You think
stay
this
the
is
shit out.
foreshadowing? You think he's getting into the kind of, the idea of maybe coaching the boys here? What do you think?
I think he is, and I think this is something cool about the way this season has progressed over the first, like, going into the third episode here. The bro dude thing, he hates it. He obviously does, and we'll see what happens. We'll talk about what happens with that towards the end of this discussion. But uh, you know, it doesn't seem, even in the first episode, doesn't seem like that's going to be where the show is going, and this whole leading into what it is with the younger kids, and maybe having that direction with them and still being part of the, like, 'cause even the guys, his team, the Bulldogs, are being like, you're our leader, man, help us with this, when they're trying to coach these kids and shit. So I think it's a good way in as far as the show is going. Yes, I think he's going to get into at least being a part of it, whether it be coaching or not. He's going to be more involved because in this third episode is the first time we saw any ice, anybody skating, any form of hockey whatsoever, which is something I've missed over the first two episodes, and maybe got it wasn't a hockey game, but it was like a brief moment of people on the ice, and that's what we're kind of looking for. So I'm hoping to see more of that as the last couple episodes wrap up. I think we might. I hope we do. And yeah, I think Shoresy is going in that direction. I think he realizes that the TV thing isn't for him. It's obvious, and the way Nat broke it down to him, and I think he realized that the best thing for him to do would probably be coaching or in some way involved.
If you can't be on the ice, be as close to it as you can be, kind of, I guess,
Exactly.
right? That kind of, be where wins and losses still counts because that's
Got
she
scratchy
tried
itch.
to pitch him on Bro Dude how you can have a win or a loss, and I think that's ultimately why he quits because he doesn't care. There's
Right.
nothing on that show he can take as a win, but it is Shoresy at his best when he is confrontational like that. That's that would make him good at social media in theory. Like I don't think he actually needs Bro Dude. There's probably some storyline of this where if somebody can just basically start a fucking social media account for Shoresy, he just kills it by being himself. Like
Yeah,
he
but
doesn't really need anything.
I think he kind of has to be in the moment. It has to be happening, and then he just does it and kills it. It can't be scripted.
Oh
It can't,
yeah,
he has
it
to
can't be
do.
set up or anything. Yeah,
Right.
that's why someone would have to be filming him or something like that. But not they understand how to I should say utilize Shoresy's instincts here. Look at how far the Bulldogs have come since he said they'll never lose another game again. And it was also nice. You kind of mentioned it here. He quit the Bro Dude. They leave the door open a little bit, so it's not dead. I'm curious to see. My guess is they bring it back around a little bit more, like we used to see with episodes of the show without Shoresy on it. Maybe they continue from that. Maybe they don't. And I do want to say I did enjoy the idea that Nat finally did take the day off. Everyone's kept sweating her, and she's like, there is no off season. There is no off season. Was nice to see her just, finally be like, all right, I'm gonna like maybe go out and have a drink and dance for a hot minute.
I think that was kind of a pivotal moment for her and her character in this. To sometimes you need that, dude. And I feel that in my life all the time too. It's like, man, like a lot of times I don't take time out. Even when I am off, I'm working on shit like here, you know. So anyway, I get it being totally encompassed with what you're doing in your career or whatever, or you're just totally wrapped up in your job and shit. And even after you conquered something that is
Her in
amazing.
the offseason's kind of like Shoresy, right? Like he's, what's more long term with him, what will he do without hockey? But she also seems to be struggling what she's going to do without hockey.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that depiction of like, how it portrays from this character to that character, and she's right there on that in that realm, dude. So yeah, again, I appreciated the fact that they kind of leaned into that, and they kind of been alluding to it the entire first couple episodes, like even Shorzy said that you work too much, and then Megan Z have been like, fucking chill out a little bit, chill
Yeah,
out a
and
little.
that's intense. She's like Shoresy. She's the female Shoresy. She is all, almost equally as intense and driven.
Man, so
And
I
she
think
doesn't
that's
want to
why I
lose
think the
either.
two of them relate so well,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why I
man.
like how she's been there for him, that she really kind of understands what he's going through. Because I think on a certain level, she's going through the same thing. And yeah, it's nice to see her kind of cut loose a little bit. And do you think at the end of the episode, is she the one that's going to like that prospect party to get it? Is that her dressed up in that outfit? I couldn't quite tell. I thought the
No,
hair matched, but is it just some random person or was it not?
I think, dude, I couldn't recognize. I think it's somebody random because, like, okay, so they're in the gold hoodie or whatever, and they take it
Yeah,
off.
the hair, it looked like her
And
hair a little bit, but I don't think it could have been either of the other girls. So,
it's not. I
yeah, it's
couldn't.
not me or Z, I don't think.
I definitely think it's a rando, but I'll have to look at they get
Well,
that
one of
again.
them's going to have to
It's
go to
like
that party then at least. So I'm curious as to if we'll see how that goes and if it will be her. Maybe she takes too much of a vacation. We've seen that before, right? Someone like never takes a vacation. All of a sudden they take a day off and they're like, "Oh man, this day off stuff's pretty sweet, eh?"
yeah. That could be, man. We'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the next couple of episodes here, man.
Oh, and we probably haven't mentioned this enough, but I'm definitely enjoying, how much Shorzy is really into Laura Mora. That's his goal for the
He's really
summer to bring
committed,
her
man,
in.
because he's got tens crawling all over him, apparently, and
He's got a full
got
rack
like
there, and they're just coming out of the
the rest
woodwork.
of the boys are banging, the other hockey moms and anything else that comes along, and he's kind of staying committed here with the Laura Moore thing, man. So he's all in on that, so that's cool, man, But she's a little bit like I think she's there too, but she doesn't want to get fucked over because she's in for the long term commitment thing. And as a hockey player, so she's got her concerns or whatever. But dude, I think at the ultimately, I mean, that's where the story's going, So
And I kind of hope so. I think like I'm not a big like, oh, I want to ship these get people or they need to be together or something, but they seem very good for each other, and it looks like they're kind of trying to set up like Shorzy being tempted or something. And I don't know if I really need to see that, right? Like Shorzy can just he can just keep
I don't
crushing
think
it
we need
off
it.
screen, and I think we're all happy.
Yeah, I don't think we need that, man. Like, dude, if Shorzy as a character wanted to be like that, it would be. He'd be hanging out with Dolo and Goody, banging every fucking 10 in town,
Oh,
dude.
that was actually such a great part where she starts grilling him on like, oh, wouldn't you rather bang these chicks you already other bang? And he like the one chick he didn't even bang her because her bedroom was such a mess. That
That's
actually
cool.
killed.
Yeah.
That was a great joke. I literally laugh out loud at that one. Like you try to keep your dick hard when the room's that messy or whatever. That was great.
Smells like cat litter in there, yeah, or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, there
yeah.
were a couple of
Right
those. Yeah,
though.
that was. But I like that Shorzy is kind of like genuine and earnest like that, right? Like he wears it on his sleeve. He's not trying to like run game or whatever. He genuinely like he's really into it. He wants to go in there and fold her laundry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll fold your
I never
laundry.
even figured out is that a metaphor? Or does he actually like clean her dishes and fold her laundry? I'm not sure.
It's got to be because he said shit like that before. Like, man,
That's what I mean. I didn't know if that was his kind of funny version of foreplay. It's probably a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but
maybe, yeah.
he
But
might
yeah,
actually do the one and then actually later on empty the dishwasher.
I'm here to fix the cable.
Oh, empty your dishwasher so hard.
Yeah.
So overall, I think we're both pretty happy through 3 episodes. We do need to give out our awards here. Soup, what do you think, man? Your episode MVP, episode 3, The Itch. Who you scratching it with?
Yeah, I'm going with Nat on this one, man. Definitely, and she's been, man. I mean, she's solid every episode, every season. And I've been kind of thinking about it with the past two. She's been right there. And I think this one she gets it, just because of maybe the way it ended, and she finally took that day or whatever. And yeah, I mean, she's just such a clutch character, and she's kind of like, I don't know, man. She gets the
She's our
MVP.
female Shoresy. She's our kind of, our equivalent on the other side, and she's great at it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So she really came through in this episode, and not that she doesn't in other ones because she doesn't ever own, but this one was kind of like one that like really shined a light on her for me anyway. So I'm giving her the MVP.
It's a perfect blend of I love her and I'm terrified of her all at the same time. It's absolutely perfect. That's why I love her so much. I can't believe it, but I'm going to go off the board a little bit here, dude. Give me Jory Jordan. I loved everything with that.
Dude,
Per
Jared
capita
Jordan was
laughs in, again, just the bro dude, the 3-on-1 stuff probably would have been enough. Then you tack on that scene at the end with him and Shoresy at the bar. So good. I had to I cracked up the entire time he was on screen. And again, that's a tough character to pull off. Every time he comes on, it's like a little bit more over the top and crazy. But the actors managed to handle it. The whole bit when he comes in, oh yeah, when he introduced himself, like runner up at that 2018 Sudbury Talent Competition or whatever. I almost
he's
died.
got full, he's brimming with confidence,
Like
man.
like Chevy Chase, like deadpan delivery, right? Like the actor just delivers it so flat and quick. Just incredible job, dude. I got to give it up for Jory Jordan there, man.
I almost picked him for this one.
Yeah,
Dude.
well, all right. I like, again, we don't give it to Shoresy very much. He's great every episode, but I really think Nat and Jory both deserving there. How about a grade for this one, man? How many cans of puppers? The max is a 6-pack. How many are you given to episode 3, season 4 to Itch?
You know, I'm staying real consistent here and still drinking four puffers out of this one, man. I'm staying with the four. I don't like it hasn't really gone over that hump for me yet. I mean, it's good. It's getting there, but it hasn't gave my balls a tug in that essence or in that way to drink a fifth can yet. I'm hoping for a full sixer by the end of the season. I feel like it'll get there. It's a really good way to set the tone for the end of the season or for the last half or whatever. But yeah, I'm still sticking with four, man, which isn't bad. Still good. Not downplaying with it or not downplaying it. I'm very interested. I'm wanting to see where it goes, but it just hasn't gotten to that fifth can yet, man. So maybe episode 5 will get, or maybe episode 4 will get to that fifth can.
I'm also going to go with 4 cans of puppers here. Right there in line kind of with the quality of the first two. Again, I had a little bit of kind of nostalgia for the first one, the way they came in. Really enjoyed that one. But again, you can have a very good time with 4 puppers in your belly. Get yourself a couple of wings, something like that. You'll have a good time. You'll get a stew going. And I think we're pretty excited here to get a stew going for the rest of this season of Shoresy. There are 3 more episodes left in the 4th season. Then we have a 5th season, again, assuming it'll be roughly 6 episodes, released roughly 6 months from now. Soup, any expectations here? Any hopes, predictions, questions, anything like that for the rest of the season? Let me ask you, do you think Shoresy's going to pull off the summer of Laura Moore here? Is he going to lock it down and kind of move in with her and meet the kid by the end of the season?
I feel like that'll progress, but not be locked down at the end of the season. I think it's going to be a cliffhanger. Or it's going to be a stringer. Like it'll go. I don't think it's going to. Because why would it? At this point, if they're going to continue with the show, where do you go from that? There's a whole nother different storyline they have to deal with. Like, oh, now we're living together, kind of shit. I think that's going to stay where it is, and I like that. Let's string that along. That's what I'm hoping for on that one. I think their relationship is perfect where it's at. If it gets too much, it's going to be like that's going to suck like any other relationship where people live together and then there's issues like you're fighting over stupid shit like yeah, I don't know, laundry or heat or something stupid.
Right.
So,
No one wants to, yeah, Shoresy be yelled at for not putting the toilet paper on the right way or whatever.
yeah, right. So
I don't think any of us are there for that. What do you think? The part 1, mostly the hockey part, went for 3 seasons, 18 episodes. I think we're at least getting 12 in part 2. Do you think that's it? Like, do you think it goes past that? Is there a part 3? What do you think as far as the future of Shoresy here? Is this it? Is it just 2 parts or 3 parts? How far could it go?
I don't want it to outlive its, I don't want to go too long where it gets stale, but I think a good 4 or 5 is probably, I think four, 3, 4 parts is probably good on that, before it gets a little bit overkill or whatever, and people get sick of it, no matter how good it is at that point, I mean, once you reach that many seasons, I don't know. I mean, not everybody can be the Simpsons and go for 40, 50 fucking years.
Right. I mean, do you really want like you could get the time jump Shoresy where they jump, 12 years into the future and he's coaching his own kid juniors who's like a little mini Shoresy or something like that, I suppose.
I could see that. I mean, that might be cool. I mean, I'll be like, I'm a fan, so I hope it goes as long as it can go. I mean, if the show continues to be successful and entertaining, then yeah, I'm in for it no matter how long it goes. I don't want to see it end anytime soon. I'm at least hoping for a part 3. Like, okay, so there was 3 seasons.
Right. 333, right? So like
It's like
9 seasons, 3
no,
parts.
yeah. I could
That
be
feel
cool
about
with that.
right? Like, something in that
Yeah,
range,
and that might be, I mean, I don't have any inside information here or anything, but that might be the play for now, as long as they continue to get re-signed for these. And I hope they do. So yeah,
Right, it's only 63 episodes. That's not, for 20-minute-ish show, that's not anything crazy, really. That's not a huge, order, but it's enough to probably make it work in syndication or to help sell it and that kind of thing.
yeah, and Jared Kiso is familiar with this because he did Letterkenny for what 11, 12 seasons or something like that. It's up there.
We haven't seen all the cast yet. Do you think we're gonna get any Sanger or Frankie this year?
You know what? They have talked about Sanguinet has been brought up in conversation a couple of times, at least once or twice during the first 3 episodes here. So I do think we'll see him again for sure. I don't think we're not going to see Jean-Jacques Francois Jean-Jacques again. I think he'll find his way back into it as well. I think it's just he's up in Quebec doing his thing with a whole bunch of tens up there. So yeah, I do think we see both of those guys again. I wouldn't be yeah, I'd be shocked if we didn't, honestly, man. I definitely expect to see both of them by the end of the season.
I hope we do. How about the Gyms? Are the Gyms lost forever? Are they going to be the villains of the season, man? How do you think it's going to shake out with the Gyms?
Dude, I don't know, but I will tell you this, man. I am freaked out about what's going on with the Gyms right now, and I don't know why the guys don't understand this. You would think they would be, So I think it's going to take something like Situation to make them realize, oh shit, sorry, and they need to apologize to the Gyms for leaving them out on this thing because the Gyms got left out, dude, and that's fucked up, man. Like they're super important. So I'm a fan of the Gyms. I don't really like that they ratted out the dudes for banging the moms. I think that's fucking bullshit. They should have went to the guys instead, like any normal fucking dude would do. But either way, they're retaliating, and I don't like that. It's been sketchy since the first episode, and I think they're leading up to something's going to happen. No matter what, something is going to happen. I just hope it works out well, because the Gyms are fucking important. I love the fucking Gyms, dude. Come on.
Yeah, you need the Gyms, and you feel bad because I don't think they needed to give the Gyms 2 weeks of debauchery, like just like one nice boat ride with a couple of chicks, and I think the Gyms would have been happy.
They're not asking a whole
Like just
lot,
like, just a
man.
solid like couple of days. Like I don't think the Gyms needed that much work, and they would have been right on board. So I think it's a little bit lazy on the buys part. Like definitely a little bit lazy. And how about the weird Sudbury thing? You think this is going to pay off? I think we kind of alluded to it. It feels like something they might be building to for the, if not the 5th episode, maybe the 6th episode, the season finale kind of thing. And then maybe it's weird but good.
I think so, man. I kind of feel like that where this is. I kind of feel like this is where that this season is going to kind of wrap up with that, or at least right there at the tail end of it. Maybe with a couple other cliffhangers or side stories to go along with it. But I think that's the climatic ending of of season 4. So it's kind of been building over the first couple, and I think it'll continue to kind of build more. And we'll see, because like this last episode ended with with a clip of the introduction to that. So obviously it's going to be a thing, and I don't know.
They're working at it, man. That's like the
hope,
party to get into the party, man. That's like
I don't
the
want it
free
to be
party to the free party.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a repeat of the no-show party, although it was awesome, but why do that again? And I think they're smart enough to not do the same thing twice. So we'll see. I think it'll be cool either way, man.
I'll offer one solid prediction. One of our buys winds up dressed like a furry in the party. Because every time they've seen it, we've seen one like a furry or someone dressed up like a big rabbit or something like that. I'm saying one of our buys someone winds up there dressed up as a furry.
Dude, we gotta take bets on who it's gonna be then. Yeah.
I mean, there's only one guy who's 10-inch cock.
All right. I don't
I mean,
think Dolo's
it's usually him or Dolo out front. Really, let's be honest here.
it's got to be fucking it's got to be Matthews.
Oh man, I mean, goalies are weird, dude.
Goalies are weird, dude.
Goalies are weird. All right, I think you sold me over there, man. Goalies are weird. I think we have agreed on that. That's something that's universal knowledge, and I think it's universal knowledge that we really love doing Shoresy. We will be back in a couple of weeks to wrap up season 4. Talk about what we're hoping for season 5. It keeps coming, like I said. Hopefully, maybe we get 9 seasons, 3 parts, something like that. We're here for all of it. Thanks very much for checking out. There's something about Shoresy. We are presented by Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. Find us wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff. Find us on the web at dudeswatchstuff.com. We try to keep it easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Very crucial to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you hit the thumb. Thanks again for checking out the show. We're just dudes, being dudes, crushing beers, trying to set the tone.
Cody can't go no more.
Buzz, he's not going to hit it again.